Hello, critics, non-critics, and friends. Welcome to the Film Optix podcast, where we take a glance into comic book movies, blockbusters, indie films, and everything in between. I'm your host, Christian, and I'm joined by my co-host, Devin. And today we're going to be taking a trip through the Alphaverse to talk about A24's Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And before we begin today's episode, you can listen to our podcast on podcast platforms around the internet. And if you are a new or seasoned listener to the show, we would love to hear from you guys. Follow us on Instagram and follow us on Twitter at Film Optix. That is Optix with an X, or you can email us at filmoptix@gmail.com for any movie related questions. Devin, are you here with me? I feel like you're not here like entirely. I need you to pay attention. You know, we got a podcast to run here. So I need you to kind of, you know, I need your eyes and ears all here. So are you here with us? Are you paying attention?
Well, there is a version of me that is a movie star. So there's also a Twitch streamer version. There's like a version of me that turned into like the ninja of Twitch. There's also a version of me that is a janitor. There's also, I'm also a fish.
A fish with two fins or just one fin?
Three.
Oh, there we go. So during this Oscar version of you, are you accepting an award? Did you get slapped by Chris Rock?
Yes.
Did you get slapped by Will Smith?
I got slapped by Chris Rock.
Oh, okay. So it's the other way around.
For making fun of him about Will Smith.
Okay. So this time Will Smith made fun of Chris. I got you. That's a very interesting universe you got going on there. For me, you know, I'm just sipping on a Mai Tai in the Gulf of Mexico, just having a good old time. You know, it's the same world, kind of, sort of, just, you know, a stop away. So, but as we mentioned before, sorry for that terrible bit, but it's all good. You know, we're just having fun here. We're just so excited to talk about A24's Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Man, it's finally,
this movie is everything.
Yes, this movie literally is everything, and is now hopefully playing everywhere all at once. There you go.
I think I saw it was like 1,200 theaters now.
Yeah.
It was like 50 before.
How many theaters are in America? At least here, I don't know. But yeah, that was a very odd choice that they made, because with X, or the movie X.
I don't understand a bunch of other A24 movies get wide release and like right away. I don't know why this one took 2 weeks. I
don't know either, because this is actually my second time seeing it. I was able to grab a screener of it I think it was about maybe like a week and a half ago, and Devin had still not seen it by then. So, I mean, there was that, but it's just, you know, we had to kind of wait until it was available for everyone all at once. So there's always that. But Devin, how are you doing on this fine Saturday?
It's a good day after that viewing last night. We were all awoken.
I can't. Do you guys just like going to late night viewings? Is that like a thing that you guys do, or is
the only options were 6 or 9:30?
I would have gone with the 6. I mean, 9:30 is fine too. It's just, I don't know. That's just me. I try to get the earliest one that I possibly can. I actually just came back from
You're
the
also
theater.
a boomer, so it makes sense. You can't stay up that late.
I am a millennial. Thank you very much. I am a millennial through and through. Yeah, so for me, I saw it. I actually saw it again today, 12 o'clock showing, because I'm a normal person.
12 o'clock on a Saturday. That's boomer stuff there.
Boomer stuff. I had nothing else better to do. I did my spring cleaning around the apartment. You know, I'm going to be watching some Moon Knight later on. They keep extending these screeners because we were only supposed to view them prior to the first episode releasing, but I think Disney really wants people to review these episodes separately. So, hey, I'm not complaining. So there's a few things I had to watch for episode 3 and 4 that I feel like I missed on the first viewing. So I got that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I worked out this morning. I was feeling good. I was feeling fine. I was like, you know what? Let me go reward myself by seeing Everything Everywhere All at Once, or EEAAO for short, at a 12 o'clock showing.
That might be the only negative, is the title being
so
very long and difficult to say.
Yeah, definitely. It's just an odd title, but hey, A24 is an odd studio and I'm here for it. So Devin, are you ready to jump into this review of Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Yeah, I was going into it saying like this is just like the perfect little appetizer for Multiverse of Madness, and then after you watch it, no, this is the whole 3-course meal. Like this isn't an appetizer. Multiverse of Madness has some stiff competition here for multiversal movies.
I think so. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after this introduction to Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Mrs. Wang. Mrs. Wang.
Mrs. Wang, are you with us?
I am paying attention.
Now, you may only see a pile of receipts, but I see a story. I can see where this story is going. It does not look good.
What's happening?
And we are back with our Everything Everywhere All at Once review. And the story is as follows. An aging Chinese immigrant is swept up in an insane adventure where she alone can save the world by exploring other universes, connecting with the lives she could have led. This film is directed by Quan and Daniel Scheinert and written by Quan and Daniel Scheinert as well, and stars Michelle Yeoh, Stephanie Huske, and Kwan. Whew, man, this, and how can we almost forget the lovely Jamie Lee Curtis is in this film as well.
He's the big bad guy in this one for once.
Yeah, well, at least one. Yeah, definitely. So I'm actually going to pass it over to Devin so we can give his initial reactions. But before we do, if you're new here, we kind of just go into our initial reactions first. Then we usually get into spoilers. We hit a few Easter eggs, give our final thoughts, and then we close out with our ratings. So, Devin, give me your initial reactions on Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, I remember a while ago when the first initial trailer came out, I think I sent it over to you and I was like, wow, this looks really interesting. Like nobody really knew anything about it or what it was, just kind of a cool looking trailer. As it got closer to release and like critics started seeing it, there were like these rave reviews coming out. Like people are loving this. It's got like a 97% critics and audience on Rotten Tomatoes, which is very rare. So then the hype just kept building and I just knew it looked like a very interesting concept, and multiversal movies are always very interesting. So I was very excited to watch it. I was trying to figure out who the directors and writers were. They go by Daniels on the, like at the end of the movie, they say the film by Daniels because it's two Daniels that made it. And the only other movie they made prior was Swiss Army Man. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
No, I did not.
Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah.
Oh, you see.
It's very, very entertaining. You can definitely see the similarities. It's like very whimsical and like and mythical as far as the movie goes. You can definitely see the similarities. So
okay,
I recommend that one as well.
Okay,
Since you're the Harry Potter fan. He's a dead body that gets used by Paul Dano.
Oh my gosh.
There's just a lot going on.
It's my sole mission to finish Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint and Emma Watson's filmography.
You can skip Woman in Black 1 and 2.
Oh, wait, that's Daniel Radcliffe, isn't it? I think so. What is that the horse one? Is that the horse movie?
I don't know if there's a horse, but it's horror.
Oh, okay. I don't want to say it.
But anyways, yeah, this movie's just amazing. Honestly, there's just so much happening. It's one of the craziest movies you'll ever see, hands down. There's just so much like universe hopping and so much diversity in everything in the fighting styles and the different places they go, the different wardrobes they have. It all just looks so amazing and whimsical. Yeah, it's just a mind-blowing experience. I haven't felt this way about a movie since Parasite. Not saying that they're similar movies, but just the level of quality and just the recognition of this is what a film can be. It kind of just changes your perspective on things. That's kind of how it feels for me, like on that level as Parasite. It's just insane, the storytelling because it's a movie where the more you watch, the deeper it gets, and as far as like the lessons and the morals of the story, because you think it's one thing and then another thing is added on, and then there's more layers to it, and then there's just more and more being added to it. And you're just along for the ride, the crazy, insane ride. Michelle Yeoh is amazing as always. She's just always killing it. I mean, Crazy Rich Asians. Did you see that Crazy Rich Asians little shout out during one of the montages?
I want to say yes. It's even watching it a second time. Like I feel like I've seen everything with the movie, but it's like I was just so enthralled. But I did catch a few other Easter eggs that are very, you know,
there's so much
that are definitely out there. And I do apologize. I might have actually. So for Stephanie Hsu, that was a typo on my side. I thought it was Huskay, but it's actually Kyu Kwan, who plays Waymond.
Our boy Waymond.
Yeah. And I just wanted
Everybody
to put
needs
that
a
up.
Waymond.
Yeah, a Waymond. And then Stephanie Hsu. And I do apologize for that earlier. I just wanted to clear that up before we go any further.
Yeah, I was just looking at the IMDb page. First review that gets shown just says, "Don't do drugs, watch this instead." Because that's how it feels. I mean, you're watching this, you're going on a trip, a visual, just stunning masterpiece of a trip. Like,
Yeah.
it's just kind of opened your eyes as to what a multiverse type of movie can be like. Because nobody saw this coming. Nobody knew what this was when it was coming out. It's just, hey, another A24 movie looks pretty interesting. Let's watch it. And then it just kind of blows your mind with the story that it gives you.
Yeah, I do agree with you there. I will say just right off the bat, the first thing that I've noticed about this movie was from my initial reactions was the editing. It was honestly some of the best editing I've seen in a movie this year, just with all the color and the lighting effects and the way that it's shot. Like when it first opens up, there's so many breathtaking transitions here. It kind of feels like I'm in like a Sam Raimi film there for a bit, but I do agree with just to piggyback off what Devin said. Like there's so many themes in this movie, and I think it almost reminds me, at least the underlying theme of From Turning Red, when it is, you know, the parents and the child and, you know, these overbearing parents and, you know, trying to mend, or not even mend, but repair the relationships that you once had with your parents and other members in your family. But it also gives you it gives you a different perspective of, you know, what your life could have been and, you know, about the choices that you make, because this movie is very reminiscent of The Matrix, as we've kind of seen throughout this. And I, you know, definitely from a second viewing from my side, which is, you know, it bleeds The Matrix all over it. Dare I say it may be a little bit better than The Matrix. I like how they are able to explain the rules, the expedition of the story without it being over explained, and, you know, things are just wild and wacky and kooky as it goes along. But the writing, the dialogue was fantastic, and I really felt like this was about a family who was you know, kind of, you know, their entire life was just laundry and taxes. You know, they're trying to keep afloat this failing laundromat, the Kwan laundromat, and it's like, it's almost as if the laundromat is also a character in and of itself, because it's kind of suffocating them, and we really see that throughout the beginning of the movie with the audit and what have you. But there's the underlying theme of, you know, just choosing the you know, no matter what, there is no right or wrong path, because we see within the movie with Michelle Yeoh's character, Evelyn, how, you know, she wonders what her life could have been if things were different. You know, if she didn't move to America, if she would have stayed in China with her parents and, you know, not moved away with her husband, you know, her life could have been different. And we definitely see that unravel throughout the movie. But overall, I just really had a great time with it. You know, Michelle Yeoh, she does all of her own stunts in the movie as well. Jamie Lee Curtis was fantastic. The entire cast, like the main cast, was just, it really just blew me away. Like, I mean, Stephanie Hsu, I think she was probably my favorite character. With her,
was not expecting that. Didn't know how big of a role she was going to have as Joy.
Yeah. Did you know she was also in Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings? Did not know that.
That's so.
Yeah, I just looked it up on Rotten Tomatoes. But it doesn't say who she played.
She was Sue, Soo.
Oh yeah, I see that. See, I'm gonna have to go back and I love watching Shang-Chi anyway, so I'm definitely have to go back and watch that as well. But yeah, I mean, I thought she did a fantastic job. You know, the father Wayman, he cracked me up. How was your?
Is that his sister? I'm trying to think. Is that Shang-Chi's sister?
His sister?
Like, not the main one, but the.
Well, no, I mean Aquafina's Shang. Oh, his sister.
The one that's like at the breakfast table at the beginning.
You know what? I'm gonna watch Shang-Chi today and let you know. I'm gonna watch it today and let you know for sure. Or I'll just skip to that part in Disney Plus just to see. I got a few other things to watch first, but yeah, I'll definitely let you know. But yeah, as I was saying, with Ke-Huy Quan playing Wayman Wang, he was, oh my gosh, just he just
hard not to fall in love with Wayman.
Yeah, definitely, and James Hong as well as Gong Gong. He played his part, but it's been a while since I've actually seen him on the on this silver screen there for a bit. So I think the last time I saw it was maybe like Blade Runner 2049. I think that was the last. Oh no, he was also in Turning Red as Mr. Gao, the voice. Okay,
and Star Wars Visions.
Yes, yeah, he was, and Batman Soldier. Oh yeah, that's one that I didn't watch, but yeah, and Kung Fu Panda. From people who may know him from his earlier work. But yeah, like the entire cast has just been fantastic. I don't think I would have replaced a single person. For me, when it comes to the major negative I did have was that I felt like it was a bit too long, and I wasn't sure if that was the case going into it the first time. When I sat through it the second time, I'm not sure if it was that I already saw it, but I felt like they could have shaved it off by like maybe 15 minutes, but
I wanted to keep going. I wanted more.
It really felt like, because there's three parts to this. There's everything and then everywhere. And then part 3 is all at once. With all at once being the shorter of the 3 chapters, but it really just took you on this wild like ride, and I felt like part 1 was extremely paced. I feel like the whole thing was paced very well. Nothing really overstayed its welcome. When you go into this movie watching it the first time, you're not going to understand everything, and that's okay because it is not fast paced, but there is just a lot happening, but just a lot of crazy kooky stuff. But that's just pretty much my initial reactions. I absolutely loved it, and this is an automatic cop for a physical collector such as myself. A24 this year so far has been killing it. They have been one of I think they actually are my favorite indie film studio. I do like Neon as well, but with also coming from movies like Waves and The Green Knights, Ex Machina as well, Midsummer, Hereditary. It feels like it's a high budget, but it's the editing choices in this just make it feel otherworldly, and how, it's just, the choices that you make aren't necessarily the right or wrong choices. It's just nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters. But Devin, I feel like, I've been running my mouth here for a bit, but I feel like we're getting into the spoiler territory. So are you ready to dive into spoilers?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to enter our spoiler section of Everything Everywhere All at Once. So that is your first spoiler warning for the film. Again, that is your second spoiler warning. So if you haven't seen it, and if this movie is playing at your local theater, I highly, highly recommend you go watch it. It's a smooth 2 hours and 12 minutes. Honestly, you're going to have so much fun. The time's just going to
run, don't walk.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask you really quick, Devin, how was how did your audience take this? Like, what was their reception?
It was 9:30 and it was still packed. There were a lot of people there. And then I was going to mention, going into it, I didn't really know what to expect, obviously. And then as I'm watching it, it's just kind of, there's a lot of emotions you get while watching it, but I was just shocked at just how funny it was.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
not expect it to be this funny. It might be primarily a comedy just because of how many funny moments there are throughout the movie, and they keep calling back to different moments too, and they just keep coming back to it, and just makes it so much funnier.
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of obviously between Michelle Yeoh and Hugh Kwan and Stephanie Hsu, I think there was something there that was just amazing. I mean, Stephanie making these or Joy, her character Joy making those like when she first comes in as Jobu Tsubaki, like, and she's like wearing like the golf club like kind of outfit.
That was amazing.
And
then the dildo kill,
the dildo,
double dildo kill.
It's just like she was just having so much fun with it, and I think that was I don't think I could have imagined anyone else in the role, but Michelle Yeoh, with her character as Evelyn, and she is this very timid, just worn out type of mother who is, deeply trying to connect with her daughter on some playing level, and somewhere along the way, especially during like teenage years, they kind of lose that connection that they had, and you can just feel the tension and the disconnect between the two characters. And of course, Wayman just trying to be nice to everyone, be kind to everyone, which is his major or main theme of the movie is, just being kind to people goes a long way, and we see that a lot. Not only does he save them from tax audit like once, like not twice, but 3 times. And I'm like, this man has a silver tongue. And of course,
you gotta talk it out sometimes. Just be kind.
Yeah. And of course, Jamie Lee Curtis.
She was great. They beefed her up a little bit, made it a little more intimidating. As a figure, and she was stomping around like she was kind of scary. She did a great job.
Yeah, she did a phenomenal job. She's like sitting at the desk. She's like, you see all these pieces of paper here? They're just receipts to you. And she's like, but I see a story. And
her trophies. That was the first. I think that was the first real like laugh out loud moment, and then it just like snowballs from there.
Yeah, oh my god. I think for us, I mean, definitely when I went to go see it at a critic screening, we had a blast the first time seeing it. People were definitely laughing in my theater the second time around, but I didn't have a really big turnout. I mean, yeah, it was noon on a Saturday, but I think there was a good like 20, 25 of us there. But, people would chuckle here and there. But when I saw it with critics, man, it was, we were just having a ball. We really, really were. And I believe it was actually like an early screening just in general for anyone to join. It's just that critics were also invited. But it was hilarious. And actually, my first time seeing it was in IMAX. So that was amazing. It was a little bit hard to kind of focus on the story and read the subtitles for the IMAX viewing just because the screen was so big. So like when I saw it in a standard screening today, it was easier for me to, follow along altogether. But so this movie definitely is more sort of the hybrid when it comes to subtitles, which, I mean, don't let that stop you from seeing this whatsoever, because what is it that Kim Jong-un said that, you'll be open up to a new world if you can get past that, was it like inch or 2 inches of subtitles at the bottom? And he's absolutely right. Films like Drive My Car, of course, Parasite, Shoplifter, and a few others, it just, they're amazing. And that really shouldn't put people off from seeing this. So definitely there. But I wanted to pass it back over to Devin if he had anything else he wanted to talk about that we haven't had a chance to bring up already.
Yeah, I mentioned how funny I thought it was and how the comedy really works for me before. And I also wanted to mention the action, because the action is also just as amazing. That first scene with the fanny pack and Wayman, like the way they choreographed that was incredible. It all looks so amazing. You can tell everybody's a professional and they know what they're doing. And it's just great kung fu action throughout the entire movie in very strange and creative ways that you would never expect to see. Like a fanny pack with fish pebbles stuffed inside to make it heavier. Like it's just crazy stuff like that you would never see before.
The way that he ate that chapstick.
Oh yeah. And then the gum under the desk.
Oh my God, it was too much. But of course, we have to talk about the Easter eggs.
There's so many.
Raccoon tooth.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. Ratatouille. She's like, that movie.
They made that joke once, and I was like, all right, yeah, that's pretty funny. But then they kept going back to it, and I was like, this is just getting better and better because they actually show it, and then he gets exposed, and then they have to try to get Ratatouille back.
There is an actual universe out there with Ratatouille, with Evelyn working at a hibachi restaurant, and you can clearly see, like, oh yeah, there's a rat tail coming out of this guy's like huge chef hat. I wonder what that's all about. Like, oh my gosh, that was hysterical. But yeah, so there are so many, and of course, Jenny Slate makes a small little appearance in this movie. She's just titled as Big Nose on Rotten Tomatoes. That poor
her dog. Oh my God,
that poor
dog got yeeted.
That dog got punted across the entire IRS office. But oh my God, that was, I think that was probably one of my favorite parts. What was your favorite universe that we visited?
I haven't even thought about that. I mean, I guess we saw the sign spinning one in the trailer. That's another thing I was going to bring up. The trailer showed almost nothing, which is amazing. Like the trailer did not give away anything from the movie. It showed like the sign twirling part. They showed some of the fighting parts, which were obvious. So
yeah, I'm
glad they didn't give away anything. But I love the sign twirling, how that she used like a riot shield as protection there.
Oh yeah.
I love how it was kind of a twist. Like midway through, you find out that the grandpa is also like in on it. There's an alpha version of him too, because we all just thought he was just some old guy that didn't know what was going on. But
going back to the editing, as I mentioned earlier, it was what I really loved about it, when it goes into, everything, part one is everything. So that's kind of the part of the movie where it is showing you all the possibilities, all these endless universes and how they jump to gain these specific skills. And we see a lot of that in the IRS office. But when it comes to part two for everywhere, that is really where, all these universes kind of start to blend in and they start to display, hey, like there's like every single time that you jump, there's like, it's kind of like a glass of water that's cracking and you can mend those cracks.
And she has to figure out how to make the jump too every time. She has to do something that isn't normal. And
yeah.
You normally wouldn't do.
The butt.
Like the paper cut between the fingers.
Yeah. He was like,
you never do a paper cut on purpose. It's supposed to be an accident.
The butt plug.
That was probably the funniest part. Just
that was hilarious.
As soon as you see it on the desk, you just know he's going to try to jump on it.
And then the slow-mo of the other security guy, I was like, no.
And then the other guy shows back up with the even bigger one.
Oh my gosh, I was dying laughing. Even the second time, like there were a lot of parts where I was, just kind of cackling, laughing out loud because I really did just enjoy this. And you can see this from, the directors and the screenwriters. And also Joe and Anthony Russo are producers.
I was surprised to see those names pop up.
I was very, very surprised as well. And Michelle Yeoh also being an executive producer on this. They really that's what I really love about indie films. And I'm not sure if you saw like Not Men from A24. That looks really good. But
yeah, the trailer was crazy.
Yeah, I'll watch anything with Jesse Buckley in it, like 100%. But there was another one, like The Shell.
Marcel the Shell.
Jenny
Slate.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah. I guess my point is that like when it comes to A24 can literally be as weird as they can, but you see how, I mean, the creative freedom is there. Obviously, there has to be, cuts and whatnot, but you really just see how much passion was put into this. not only from the multiversal side, but just from the underlying themes of this movie about family, about reconnecting with loved ones, and about just kind of not necessarily choosing the right path, but whatever path you do take, there is no right or wrong one, because with this Evelyn, she wasn't particularly good at anything.
Yeah, she was a failure at everything, and that's what made her stand out so much.
And I think my favorite scene in the movie probably was when they're in the elevator and we meet Alpha Wayman for the first time, and she I think they were just Bluetooth heads, I believe so, which is like very just retro kind of sort of for nowadays. But when her mind's kind of being uploaded, and like you pretty much see like her entire life flash behind her, before her eyes, and it's like she's experiencing everything all at once. So I think that was probably my favorite sequence. And also, Devin, do you like bagels at all?
I mean, that bagel was pretty scary.
I died laughing. She was like, I put everything on a bagel. The way that she delivered it, it was like sesame, poppy seed, salt,
despair,
everything. The way that she delivered that, it's like she just shows in and she's like, I put everything on a bagel.
There's also just like these amazing emotional moments towards the end of the movie where they're having these tough discussions, and there's just this crescendo of emotions that happens. It really does combine the action, the comedy, and the emotional moments so well, because you can get teared up. You can get teared up a bit at the end there.
Yeah, especially the ending was probably one of the most powerful scenes, but you also see the emotions kind of leak through when Evelyn is talking to Wayman and the different universes, especially like when they're in the car. Wayman wants to get a divorce, and it's like when it comes to that, you could really, and it's not that Wayman was unhappy, obviously, with the marriage, and it's like they have this failing business, they're being audited. Their daughter Joy, she's not really a part of the family. She has her own stuff going on with her and her girlfriend, with Becky, and
which is also a huge point of contention within the family.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like there's so many like moving parts happening at once, and Wayman kind of just wanted out. And you see Evelyn, no matter how bad it got, she was still around, but you really see where Wayman was kind of calling her out, saying, I can only get your attention when, things get tough, and, you don't have to like really say anything, but like, I kind of just feel like this entire situation that he effectively or just indirectly put them in, and it's suffocating. Like, it's very, very suffocating. They're just trying to get through this. They're trying not to get audited, and they're trying to just make it through on the other side without too badly of a scratch. And that's what I really liked about it. And, Evelyn kind of just gets taken by surprise that Wayman wants to get a divorce. And she's like, we made like a sacred vow to each other. And you can kind of see that seeping through. But yeah, like you said, the very ending with Joy and Evelyn, it was some pretty powerful stuff there. Like, because it made it seem like, I think Joy, I guess my prediction would have been like, if Evelyn would have let her daughter go, she probably would have gotten to the car and gotten into like a car accident, because the Jobu Tubaki wanted to essentially die. I feel like that's what she was ready to let go, because she wanted to find this version of Evelyn, someone similar to her, and to kind of prove her wrong as, hey, like, is there more to living than just this, because nothing matters. But that was just my take on it, because I felt like that's where it was heading.
Yeah, definitely a possible way to view the events there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I was just like, oh my God, like, is she gonna like, no. But big shout out to Gong Gong, James Hong's
Alpha Gong Gong,
Alpha Gong Gong, his mecha suit. That came out of
I
nowhere.
love how Joy was like, how are you speaking perfect English now?
Joy was like so floored the entire time. Like, what is going on? And
Her outfits were insane.
yeah, well, man, I can't even say which one was my favorite. It's just that she rocked everything that she was in, and that's what I loved about it.
We got to talk about the hot dog fingers universe.
Of course.
That just kept coming back over and over and just kept getting crazier and better. And apparently in that universe, Evelyn and Deidre are married or something, and they're just in love with they're playing piano with their feet.
You know, the universe where they have hot dogs for hands, and it goes back to like 10,000 BC. They kill
because the hot dog fingers beat the regular fingers.
Yeah, and they just get like super skilled with their feet. I was like, this is so weird, but
and then she finds a perfect use for it when her hands are being held down. She's like, oh, I can use my feet skills.
That was that whole, and it is actually part of like the standard poster as well. You kind of see the weird hot dog fingers, but you think it's more of just like a very like 70s like psychedelic type poster going on there. At least the one of them with the multiverse kind of like colliding together. But I really love the use of how, well, I think I kind of mentioned it earlier, how, you know, the universes are blending in, where, you know, Evelyn is talking to Joy or Joe Butubaki for like 1 second, and you know they kind of cut back and forth where she's kind of being pulled through all these universes at once, and you know all these same events are happening almost at the same time but having different results. I just love it. I love it how Jobu was like, Evelyn, bagel, let's go.
Bagel time.
Bagel time. We're going to Bruno's Bagels. But you know, I guess, as I said before, you know, the only negative I had was I feel like it was a little bit too long. I feel like if they would have kept it like 2 hours, it would have been like perfect. But did you have any negatives about this before we get into our final thoughts and our ratings?
Yeah, there really is nothing that I could really think of when I was reflecting on it after on the drive home last night. We were just talking about how it just feels perfect. And then
who did you see it with?
Jared, Ethan, and Nick.
Okay. Oh, so Ethan actually liked it this time.
Yeah, he actually likes something. That's how you know it's good.
Oh, congratulations to our friend Ethan. You get a nice little cheer there. I mean, you probably won't listen to this, but that's fine. But yeah, so let's get into our final thoughts and our ratings.
Also, that the scene with the Stones talking to each other.
Oh my gosh, I almost forgot about that. Yeah, the first time
There's
saw
just
it,
so many universes. It's just so good.
I love it. They're like, yeah. She was like, yeah, pretty much a lot of universes are like this, where like inanimate objects, especially with the piñatas as well. That was pretty funny. It's just, if there's one thing to take away from this, and I hope other studios do as well, the editing, and I keep going back to it, it was just phenomenal. Like, it didn't feel out of place. Everything was just so well knitted and put together in a way where it just told this clear, concise story. And I had a ball.
They fit so much into it. Like, there was a point in the movie where I sneezed and I was worried that I might have missed something. Yeah. Like, that's how much is happening in this movie.
Yeah.
There's always just something to look at. There's always something coming at you on the screen. It's just so amazing to watch.
Sneeze. What did I miss? My eyes are closed.
Yeah. Oh no, I missed so much.
Yeah, this definitely is a movie that you have to pay attention to, like through and through. Like a lot of heavy dialogue shows out there, this is not something you can just turn on in the background unless you're like a super ultimate fan and you know you just know the script frontwards and backwards and you know you've studied everything about it. But I'm sure there's things about this film that we still haven't even noticed ourselves. But
did you catch that Super Smash Bros. Sound effect?
Oh, more than once.
Yeah.
With the pinky universe.
I was thinking, could you imagine like a video game based off of this? Like we have to choose between different universe powers to fight against other people who have universe powers, and you have to like choose which ones.
They tried with the Matrix video games, but those did not work out too well for anyone. But yeah, as I mentioned before, the Matrix vibes here are just full throttle. Like
Yeah, especially the Alpha universe.
yeah,
It
definitely.
looks just like the ship on Matrix.
Yeah, from
It was like a bus.
yeah, it was. I'm blanking on the name of from Matrix, the real world of there. Is it Zion?
Yeah,
something like that.
The dumb parts.
Whew, man, Matrix 3 and the Battle of Zion. I was like, this is too much. This is way too much. Honestly, a hot take. I'm just saying it right now. Only the first Matrix movie is good. the second one
not that hot of a take.
I think that's just how I feel. I mean, the second one is watchable. It has good scenes, but overall, like the over explanation of it was just too much. But that's just me. But I definitely prefer this over the Matrix, like 100%, like any day of the week. But of course, you know, taking from inspiration from the Matrix, this is definitely a movie that I feel like any physical collector should see. I think everyone should see this movie. Got any Oscar prospects?
It has to be like editing, like you mentioned.
Editing for sure.
Original screenplay easily.
Yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once for Best Picture. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah,
on this podcast.
it should be.
I
Just
will.
like Parasite.
I will clip this and put it online. And you know what? If I look like a clown, that's fine. Like we rarely cover award season anyway, but the Emmys are coming up soon, so get your TV on. So, Devin, what would you give Everything Everywhere All at Once rating wise?
I mean, I was finding a hard time finding any issues with what I saw within the movie. So I mean, it's like a 98. It's just that good. It's that near flawless of a movie. I haven't felt like this since Parasite. It's just
I definitely agree. Yeah. So when I originally watched it, I gave it 5 stars, and I'm sticking with that through Letterboxd. You know, and as I think I've mentioned before, you know, even if like my smallest gripe is that I wish it was like maybe 15 minutes long, not longer, excuse me, shorter. But I mean, it's 5 out of 5 stars. I love it. It is my favorite movie of the year, and it is going to take something better, or just it's going to take something amazing to take it off that number one spot, because you know, I mean, we're only a quarter of the way through the year. You know, we're in April. May's just around the corner. You know, we got a lot of summer blockbusters coming up, but it's going to be pretty tough to beat this. I mean, the Batman was my number one for a few weeks, but seeing Everything Everywhere All at Once really, it's going to be a tough feat for sure. Because to be honest, we really haven't had all that great of movies. I feel like TV's been thriving a lot better this year, but I mean, there's been a few good movies. Did you see Apollo 10.5 on Netflix? I think you should watch it. It's pretty. The animation is amazing, but that's the main reason why I liked it. But it's good stuff. But yeah, 5 out of 5 for me. Like honestly, I'll just give it 99%. Just that small little 1%, just for which it was just a little bit shorter. But like that's nothing. Also, if you actually go on Letterboxd, when it says reviewed, there's a little googly eye. As
perfect.
Yeah, very, very perfect.
Gotta make the world happy.
It makes the
and
world.
You have to open your third eye.
Yeah, exactly. It's so imaginative. It's so wild. It's very and it's very, very unpredictable as well. I would say. Yeah. So I actually absolutely loved it. Just loved it to death. If you haven't seen it, please go see this movie in theaters. You know, especially when it comes to indie films, you know, we try to cover as much here on the podcast as we possibly can, because I mean they are just as important as blockbusters or things on streaming. You know, there can never be. I would never be angry for watching something or like enjoying something just because it just means more content for more things that you can recommend to your friends. So yeah, so you said 98.
Yeah,
I guess I'll go, 99 for me. So that pretty much concludes our episode of covering everything, everywhere, all at once. So what is coming up on the podcast, you might ask? We have a lot coming up here on the podcast. It's been crazy busy. Of course, we are covering Disney Plus's Moon Knight each and every week. Our episode 1 and 2 review are out right now, and our episode 3 review will be up this coming up Thursday on the 14th of April. And of course, if you have seen Morbius, our Morbius review is out on the podcast as well. And if you're a big Sonic fan, we just reviewed Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the movie. So you should definitely listen to that one. I gush about it so much. I got to go see. I'm not sure if you saw it on Twitter, Devin, but I started playing Sonic Adventure 2 at all. Have you started? That's the question. Have you started?
I tried and it was a mess. The PC version.
Yeah. I mean, it is rough. And like I said, the game is very dated. I mean, Sonic Adventure 2 came out when the Dreamcast was still a thing. And then it got ported over to the GameCube, which was then titled Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. And it added like a few more things that you could do. But yeah, I mean, the game is old. But I'm used to it because I've been playing it since it like came out. I was introduced to it on GameCube when I bought it, and then I found out it was on Dreamcast. Back then, I didn't really, understand all that much, but definitely one that I think at least play like the first like few levels on the hero side.
Oh, I tried. Couldn't even use the controller.
Xbox or PlayStation controller?
Xbox, of course.
He's like, what are you? What am I? A savage? A PlayStation?
What do I hate my hands?
I will say the PS5 controller is very nice. Battery drains out a lot, but it is a nice controller. But I still prefer the Xbox. It just feels a little bit more natural for me. But as I also mentioned, going back to what's coming up on the podcast, we're going to be closing out our Hunger Games franchise revisited series with the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. So definitely keep a lookout for that. That's going to be coming out probably the week of April 18th. So we'll be closing out that franchise, sadly. I've had a ball with it so far. We'll have a few special guests joining us for that. And, we got so much more coming out on the podcast, man. I mean, it's between June and May, it's going to be insane. Like we have the other multiverse movie for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. We also have Stranger Things season 4, and we have Umbrella Academy as well. So it's going to be between May and June. I believe also with Miss Marvel. So it's going to be a crazy time around here. So with all that said, we want to make sure to let you guys know we only ask one thing of you, and that is to share an episode with a friend, whether that be a mother, your brother, your lover, whoever it may be. Make sure to share an episode of the Film Optix podcast with a movie lover in need. Again, we are available on all podcast platforms around the internet, all audio podcast platforms around the internet. So we hope you guys have a great start to your week. And that's a wrap for today. Thank you all for listening. And if you enjoy the show, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay in the know. That was Devin. My name is Christian. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.